Hi and welcome back. You're watching LA Dreams. I'm your host, Sabrina, and with me is our second guest of the show. We have Miss Houstina Summers.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Houstina.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Not a problem.
Now, I'm really excited with Houstina because you have what I consider to be one of the most unique gifts around.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. She's actually a fashion designer, born and raised here in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we have some designs with us today, but we're going to I want you to be able to tell me what's going on in detail after a quick PSA, but we're going to go ahead and just get started with what inspired you to actually be a fashion designer. When did this all come about?
Well, actually, I have to give the credit to my mother.
Okay.
She is one of the most talented persons that I've ever met.
Wow.
Not only is she my seamstress, but she's a designer, clothing, interior.
Okay.
She's a sculptor and a painter. So she basically taught me everything I know.
Excellent.
I remember when I was little, she used to sew on this huge antique industrial sewing machine. And one day she handed me a needle and thread and fabric, and it just started from there.
Wow.
Like everything I made, she treated it like it was a masterpiece. Like it could be 2 sticks stuck in some clay, and she'd be like, definitely. She'd be like, "Baby, that's amazing."
And
I'm like, "Mom."
Shout out to Mama. We need to have Mama here with us. That's a wonderful duo then, a mother-daughter team. That's excellent.
Yes. So I would definitely give her the credit and say that she was my biggest inspiration.
Good. I know it takes a lot of detail and a lot of care when you're actually sewing, or even when you come up with the designs, because you actually come up with your own designs, right?
Yes, I do.
Now, and the reason I think I'm so fascinated, I recall when I was a little girl, I thought I was a fashion designer. I made little clothes for my Barbies, and it never really just led.
I did too.
It didn't go too far, but
I
see,
did
you've
too.
become something with yours. My mom was more like, okay, baby, just find something else. So it's really good, though, that at such a young age, you knew what you wanted to do, and it actually developed into something else and kind of came into fruition.
Yes.
So you majored in this in college? Did you major in graphic design?
I majored in graphic design.
Okay.
It was more emphasis on website and doing letterheads and business cards.
Okay.
Which did help though, because I make my own business cards and I help design my website.
Okay.
And I'm actually working on a fashion book. So I'm doing a lot of the graphic work for that as well.
Okay, and in your website production, is this, I know you have a company called Cowgirl Heaven. Does that
Yes.
help promote that as well?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I've done all the graphics on that and edited all my photos. So it came in handy.
Good, okay,
You
so
know.
work well together. Now, where did Cowgirl Heaven come from? It kind of sounds like it has a southern something attached
Southern
to it,
feel.
a little, yeah.
Well, actually, it's not that special in the development
I always try to
of
get the
name.
South involved, okay.
But how it came about is it was actually my sister's idea.
Okay.
My mom had this vintage, and I'm a vintage baby, I'm sorry. She had this huge vintage wooden sign and it said Cowgirl Heaven.
Okay.
And she was like, that would be a great name for a business because my sister and my mom are both into fashion. And I said, okay, I'll take
Just
it.
rolled with it? It's cute, it's
rolled with
unique,
it,
I like
yeah.
it. But have you done anything like boots or anything that's going to,
I
maybe a cowboy
actually-
hat or anything like that?
I actually own 2 pairs of cowgirl boots
Do you?
and a cowgirl hat, so that's about
Oh,
it.
cute. So you're the poster child for it then. I can
Right.
see you. That's really cute. Okay.
Right.
Now, with the company, you have various collections.
Yes.
So you have the gift collection, which is more, I guess, the fashion, the actual clothing.
Yes,
Okay. And then you have accessories.
I do.
Okay.
yes.
So which is your baby? Do you kind of feel more love towards one or another, or is it kind of equal?
Well, I started off with making jewelry, but I just got the itch for making clothes.
Okay.
So now making clothes is my baby. I start off making jewelry at home, and then I'm looking over at my mannequin and like, wow, this would look good on her. So
Yeah.
then I put that on a back border, forgive me, and I just go on and start designing.
That's good though. It's almost like I think about authors or somebody who's writing a book and they say, "Oh, while I was sleeping, I had this great idea about a book," and you just write. You get up and start writing it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
the way you are. Like as soon as you have that idea, that inkling, you just kind of go with it, and then you produce
Exactly.
wonderful things. That's
Yes.
really good. It's a
Thank
natural
you.
gift.
Thank you.
So, what in the future do you see yourself actually owning a boutique, or are you gearing more towards like maybe a fashion, a catwalk, a walkway type of thing for models, or the entertainment industry? What are your goals, like long-term goals?
Well, I'm hoping to do both. I want to open a chain of boutiques
Okay.
here in the U.S. and eventually go around the world. I also want to do catwalk. My goal is to be featured in New York Fashion Week one day.
Okay.
So I'm dreaming about it.
And that's what it takes. That's what we're all about, dreaming about it and making it happen.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now, one more thing I wanted to bring up before we go to a quick PSA, and then we're going to come back and discuss what you actually brought today.
Okay.
You mentioned just kind of wanting to go all around the world with it. I noticed in your bio, you mentioned your grandfather is Belizean and a lot of island influences in your work. So do you have a lot of that? Do you notice a lot of that coming out? Or
I actually do.
Okay.
I use a lot of color in my jewelry and in my pieces. What I like to do is I like to have a piece of black fabric and maybe add blue accents, which will kind of make the color really pop. I use a lot of blues, like I mentioned, because of the ocean. And I like to use a lot of gold jewelry because of the sun. So I noticed that a lot of my pieces do emphasize color.
Right. Okay, and I see that in what you brought. So we're going to go to a PSA really quickly. Then we're going to come back and you're going to tell us all about this article that you brought from the gift collection from Cowgirl Heaven. We'll be right back.
Ask our Father what dreams are made of.
Some dreams.
And He'll tell you hard work.
Live on in time forever.
We were kids, and He expected us to build the Great Wall of Philadelphia.
Those dreams you want with all your heart.
And He wanted it to be perfect. No friends,
And I'll do
no football,
whatever
nothing.
it takes. Follow through with the promise I made.
But over the months, we stuck with it.
Put it all on.
And when it was finally finished, all He said was,
Don't ever tell me there's something you can't do.
but you know, He was wrong.
If I could reach
There is something I can't do.
higher,
I can't thank Him enough.
reach.
A message from the Foundation for a Better